Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR. We sign up for a new account to get amazing odds boosts every single day. Rudo, Jesse, Megan coming to you live as the Avs take on the San Jose Sharks again at 8:30. Again.
Yeah. Deja vu for all the wrong reasons.
It's the same lineup for Colorado. It really feels like I'm living Groundhog Day.
Real
sure.
quick, Rudo, I don't know if anybody gave you the Slack message. We're actually presented by Fubo.
Oh, God. Presented by Fubo.
Can't you read?
No. It's my secret. I never learned. Fubo, even better, because you can actually watch the Avs on Fubo, so that's a win.
I will say, it's been presented by DraftKings for
like literally over a year.
I was gonna say, that's a pretty hard change on your brain, but that Fubo graphic looks nice up there.
It's like me still calling it Pepsi Center.
I've finally gotten past that one, but that one did take a while.
Thank you for the dollar spent. Much appreciated. This game specifically, it feels like not only should the Avs win, you want a better performance than last time, right?
You know me, man. I said after that game last time, I don't really care. I really don't care how the bread gets made at this point in the season for this version of the Avs team. But I was just telling you guys before we went live, I do think the Avs come out and kind of stick it to them a bit tonight. The intensity is ramping up even more all over the league when you just look at the games tonight. I think the Avs get in on that.
It is a little bit of go time. Megan, do you care how the bread gets made?
A little bit, because they're not in the same place this time of year compared to what they were at last year, though they're still really competitive. That is not to demerit the work that they've done and how far they've come as a team. I still want to see them try and be competitive even in some of these games, just because they're gearing up to enter playoff games. So they should kind of start playing like playoff games.
We'll get into that conversation in just a second. Before we get there,
goalie goal. Fuck.
Did we miss a goalie goal? Dude, the last month of this season has been kind of crazy.
This is a weird night of hockey.
It has been a weird night, too. You also have the Frozen Four going on?
Yeah.
Which is a thing. That's all I got on the Frozen Four. It's a thing. When you come into a night like tonight, and I know we've talked about this before, is there a little bit of an Avs leaning towards feeding Mikko tonight?
Yeah, I think that's going to happen until he gets it.
You just like permanently?
Yeah.
Even
because I mean, you can't have 7 games to get 50 and finish at 49.
I hear you, but it almost feels like it's putting more pressure on Mikko to get there.
That's why we were laughing last week with him like downplaying. 'Cause I'm sure he would rather win another Stanley Cup than get 50.
Of course.
But you're at 49 now. Now you're right there. It is a legitimate, significant milestone in the NHL. If you're a 50 goal scorer, that means something. Obviously, if you just do the raw number, there's a lot of them. But by comparison, how many guys have ever played in the league? There aren't a lot of 50 goal scorers.
It's like the 1% of the 1%.
Right. He's one away. They are going to feed it to him until he gets it, and then they can kind of move on. But there's a guy, I can't remember who it is, but I always think about it. Someone retired with like 998 games played or something like that, and it's like, how do you not stick around for the extra? You can't come up
take
this
a 30-second shift for 2 games.
For 2 games. You can't come up this short and not get it. And I think it means something to the team. They got Nate to the 100-point mark. I think they all want Mikko to get to 50.
Did they get Nate to the 100-point mark, or did Nate get Nate to the 100?
Eric Carlson helped get Nate to the 100-point mark.
Not wrong.
But like, I just think back to a couple seasons ago when he was at 99.
Yeah,
and the way
they fed him like crazy.
It felt like the team really took that on as like their responsibility to try to get him there. I think that's how everyone feels with Mikko. You hope that he can come out and get one early in the first period here.
Just be done with it.
You don't have to worry about it anymore. It's done. He got it. Now we can just play. But I think that is a little something for them.
I think pressure's been taken off because MacKinnon reached his 100-point milestone too. And I say that as he had 17 Rantanen, that is, shot attempts, and only 8 get through in the last game, because whether this matters to Mikko Rantanen or not, or he admits as much, it matters to his teammates, and they're going to try. So it's kind of, even if Mikko tried to avoid this from happening in some way, his teammates won't allow it. And as long as it doesn't come about as a detriment to the game.
That may be a better way of putting it.
Because there were moments where it's like, was that the best play?
Right.
Perhaps not. Though, honestly, I didn't think it was a detriment to last game as much as people suggested it was. I actually didn't mind some of the plays, even though they were a little forced.
Yeah.
I think it's going to happen similarly tonight, and hopefully they put themselves in a better position alongside whatever Mikko Rantanen's trying to do.
I mean, I don't... Not that the only thing I minded about last night was Mikko didn't finish any of them.
Yeah, right. And I actually, I'm going to change my answer to match what Megan said, because she's right. Even if it truly doesn't matter to Mikko, it matters to the 19 other guys out there for Mikko to get to 50. And I think last game, there maybe was a couple of those plays where they forced it to him and they maybe shouldn't. Because he hit the post 90 seconds in. Like, that was it. It was right there. He had the one a couple weeks ago that hits the ref. I feel like the team really is taking this on as like, all right, forget the Central. We're getting Mikko 50.
So here's the problem. They're going to give him 50.
Yeah.
And then they're going to look at the stat sheet and they'll be like, well, shit, now he's at 98 points. So we got to keep feeding him.
We got to keep feeding him.
But I think if he gets 50 tonight, he'll finish. He may push for the record, 54.
That's a big ask. But
it
there always
feels,
is that monkey off the bag.
It feels like
sure.
one of those things where it's like, they force-fed him for 3 games to get 50, and then he scored hat tricks in back-to-back games or some shit like that, you know?
Sometimes it does go like that. Getting into, Megan, you mentioned it off the top of the show, that playoff feel. Is there a little bit of treating this like a series for Colorado? It's 2 games against the same team with a day off in between. Can you get a little bit of that playoff vibe going here?
I think they should. It's tough because San Jose is in a complicated position. They played a competitive game last night, so that's not meant to insult the caliber of talent that San Jose has right now. But they have a lot of new players, young players also in their lineup right now. And their goaltender, Kakkonen, I believe, is starting again. So, it might not have the playoff feel in terms of intensity at points, though San Jose definitely brought it last game. So I say that a little bit cautiously, but for the Avs, absolutely, they should still treat this with the respect it deserves, even if just for themselves.
Hard to insult the talent. You'd have to find the talent before you insulted it.
See, I think it's, again, more of what Megan said. I think you've seen this now with Arizona and then this last game against San Jose. It feels like these teams are they're kind of giving the game to the Avs early. Like, hey, if you want it, take it. We don't really want to be part of this. We want the season to be done. But then to Megan's point, you get halfway through, and these are proud hockey players. They're like, well, fuck, we're still in it. We might as well put our foot on the gas a bit. And it's led to the 2 examples I use, Arizona and San Jose. It's led to 2 competitive games that the Avs had to scratch and claw their way to get out of. If the Sharks are going to come out and give you the first period, I would like to see the Avs take advantage of that. Get up by 2, get up by 3, put this game away, and let's cruise control into a nice 12:30 a.m. finish.
Oh, God. It's less playoff feel on the ice, but more mindset for Colorado going into a game like this. Treat it as a dry run of a series, as this is your second game on the road of a series. This is kind of the way you can look at it. Jared
Bednar, I've been polling players really in the last 2 weeks with this kind of coming up on the schedule. And every player has been really weirdly confused by this at San Jose thing. Jack Johnson said the first thing he did when he got into town was he asked, is this a makeup game? Because he's like, I just have never seen this before. But so I've been asking everyone, what do you think about this? And everybody has related it back to the COVID season. Mm-hmm. It reminds me of the COVID shortened year. And I've always asked a follow-up. Yeah. What did you... And most of the time I'm cut off at... Did you... All the players fucking hated it.
Yeah.
They all hated the COVID season. I had one guy tell me there wasn't a single thing that I liked about it. And we were like, not even staying in the same city. He's like, by the end, no.
I was just done with it. Yeah.
I've just gotten nothing but negative feedback. I had one guy tell me the one nice thing was staying in the same hotel for more than a night. So I've gotten all of this negative feedback from a bunch of the guys in the locker room. I asked Jared Bednar about it. He's like, I loved the COVID season. It was so much better. We had to stay in the same hotel. It was so much easier on film.
It me.
Really?
It me.
And he was like, oh, I wish there were things that we would have kept about it. And I was like, might be on your own in that one, man.
I think for these games too, because of the team bonding element and EJ's house in California and the opportunity to look forward to this, they have a day off tomorrow. If they win this game, not that they could go out and celebrate in a raucous way, but I think that would be good for their spirits because they'd have the opportunity to without the expense of anything.
So, Game 3 in Nashville last year, the Avs win to go up 3-0. And you could just tell, talking to them post-game, and just even the vibe around the media, it was exactly what you're describing, where you're like, none of them are going to go out and get wasted tonight.
Right.
But there is going to be some fun had this evening. Right.
They could have that late-night dinner that Landeskog had in Montreal a few years ago.
Right. Where that's hilarious. Where, there's just kind of that pressure off. I think that's a great call, Megan. I really do. I think that's maybe a carrot at the end of the line here, where it's like, hey, go out and just take care of business tonight, and then go have some fun. Take a deep breath. Day off. You're in California. They'll be in Southern California at that point. Weather's nice. Go to Disneyland. You know what I mean?
I love that.
just go have some fun. Small little mental reset, and let's get through the rest of this.
All right. I'm here for it. Most of the NHL games are going to be over by the time this game's in its first intermission.
I am anxious for Seattle, Arizona, which also starts at 8:30.
There you go. One other game that sort of matters.
Sort of.
What we do know is Minnesota did lose today.
Yep.
It certainly looks like Dallas is going to close out their game as a winner.
Yeah. It's
I'm
still
assuming
4-1.
Yeah.
We're heading into the third.
Okay. Dallas probably going to win that one. So to keep pace with the top of the division, Avs going to need the 2 points to keep up with Dallas. Also, always a good time to put Minnesota behind you.
Yeah.
It's... all right, let me put this out there first. Never, ever, ever do I want anyone to get injured. But you bring up Twitter today. Eriksson X out for Minnesota. Tanner Jeannot's out for Tampa Bay.
So I laughed because I think it was Chris Johnson tweeted wow, injuries really starting to pile up for Tampa. And he listed some guys, and I was like, it's not so fun when it's you, huh?
Yep.
And then there was actually another one for Minnesota as well.
Yeah, Sundqvist, I think.
Yes, thank you. Yep.
So, just interesting to see the rest of the league run into that speed bump a little bit. Actually, the rest of the league, a couple of playoff teams.
Yes, yeah.
How... I know Jared wants it. I know Jared Bednar has been on the record saying the Avs want the first seed. How do you guys think the players feel about it? Do they really want it? Are they in competitive for it? Or is this a team that's just ready to get to the playoffs?
I think they're still competitive for it, and I think it's their competitive nature and not a testament to the home ice advantage, because I think there's confidence in how they play on the road as well. But I think there's just a competitive instinct to want to chase that because it is within reach.
Within reach. God, her go first. I'm just going to build off correct shit that she says on that. Within reach. I seriously think if the Avs were in Tampa Bay's spot right now, I really don't think they'd care. I think they'd be like, we got to play on the road eventually. Yeah. We'll just, win wherever.
Let's just cruise, yeah.
But suddenly, after everything that's happened, you found yourself, you got 6 games to go, and would you look at that? You're sitting at the top. You can win the division. I think if they hadn't had Dallas not completely fallen apart here in the back half, and first wasn't within reach, I think they would just be saying, get in, be healthy, and all that stuff. But to Megan's point, you're here. It's right there for the taking. You could argue it's the Avs to lose at this point.
Statistically, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Go win it. Go take these last 5 games. Get home ice through the first couple of rounds. do yourself a favor in round one and allow yourself to maybe ease into it against maybe a little bit of a softer opponent. Let Minnesota and Dallas beat the shit out of each other and take whoever comes out of that.
Let those two teams play each other in the first round.
Went great for the Avs last year.
2, if you win the next 3 and Minnesota and Dallas struggle,
right.
you could still have the last 2 games of the season off.
Right. I was going to say, I was actually looking at that today. With their games in hand, the Avs actually do have a scenario that plays out here where if they take care of business that they need to and get a win against a couple of these good teams here, LA, Winnipeg, you could clinch before season's end. You could keep some guys home from that last game against Nashville, not have to do the really brutal back-to-back, all that stuff. Yeah. It would help.
There's just no reason not to go for it right now for Colorado. Right. Put it that way.
Right. It'd be silly not to.
Yeah. Now, that's a day-by-day thing. Right. They lose tonight, you reassess. But
I don't think they'll lose tonight.
I don't think they will either. If I had to put my money where my mouth is, which is what I'm about to do.
Hey.
Going in with the DraftKings Sportsbook betting segment, as you do. Look, I got a couple for you here. One, DraftKings recognized the situation. They chopped it down. They took it from goal in first 10 to goal in first 5. But it's plus 160 for it to hit. So
I actually, in a game like tonight, I would take that.
There you go. Could be a little bit of a banger. You can see it there. Take Mikko Rantanen to score a goal until he hits 50, because as we already discussed, the Avs are just going to give pucks to him at will until it goes in.
Yeah.
So take the goal scorer. If you want to spice it up, take last goal scorer. Mikko's got a knack for those empty netters, all right?
He told us the other night, empty netters don't count. I think he wants to get his 50th legit.
I'm sure he does.
I think he wants it legit.
If he turns down an empty netter, I'm going to be a little mad. I'm not gonna lie.
I could see him like deferring to someone else to get it, not completely turning it down.
Right. If he was on a break with an empty netter, he'd be triple checking over his shoulder.
Please,
in my mind, this dude is in the crease with the puck and is
come on. Yeah.
Please.
Check that one out. I would also take the over on the Avs specifically. You can spice it up. I think over 3.5 for the Avs is minus 130. If you go over 4.5, you can get plus 170. So if you're looking for plus money, believe in the Avs offense and you can get there. Put it that way. If you want to emotional hedge, you can get really good odds on taking the Sharks to win this game. I wouldn't do it, but
I wouldn't either.
You never know. If you're feeling Erik Karlsson, throw a bone his way, something like that. That's all I got for bets. I don't have any mortal locks tonight because it didn't work last time. So
I'll say a Mikko goal is a mortal lock.
That's
tonight.
what I said last game.
I know, but I'll say it tonight. Right. I really do. He hit the post in that last game, and it was just. I do think Mikko gets a goal and the Avs cruise to a win in this one. I'd do a same game parlay. Mikko goal. Avs money line. And you could even take
throw an
over
if you in want. There or something. Yeah. All right. Look, if I was the NHL script writer, I would have the Avs winning this game pretty easily. Put it that way. All right. Any final thoughts? Actually, before that, DraftKings. Go there. Use the DNVR code. Be old enough, which is 21.
Always good advice. Be old enough for just whatever.
Never don't be old enough for things that you're doing.
There's an age restriction. Be old enough.
Other terms, restrictions, conditions apply. See the show notes down below for details. If you've got a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Final thoughts, Megan, Jesse?
Boyd, Ohio.
Back?
I don't know if they're back yet. I heard we're also getting a cheesesteak.
Really?
I don't hate that.
Yeah.
Well.
So, new bar menu items coming soon. Also, just if Mikko does get 50, keep your eye out for a cool drop we might have.
Ooh,
just throwing it out there.
Now he definitely won't. Dick.
Yeah. Don't blame me. Blame D-Line, all right? All right, we're going to get out of here for this pregame. We appreciate y'all. No watch along with the Nuggets going on tonight, but we do have you guys covered postgame all the way around, so be sure to tune into that. Follow us on Twitter, where one of these two amazing people will be tweeting about the game. We appreciate you, and we will talk to you after the game.